Hello, guys. Welcome back to Goal Rush. I am super excited for this episode. Today, we are going to look into soccer. Uh, Obviously, I'm guessing a majority of people know what soccer is, but we're going to go a little more in depth today. Yeah. Anyway, first we're going to start out with some soccer news. So, for starters, obviously, you had if no one saw, the U.S. women's national team actually moved into in the FIFA rankings up to 2. They were at 3. And little backstory there: the U.S. they were at number 1. If most people didn't know that, but then after the World Cup, they got moved down to number 3, which is the lowest ranking they've had in years, I think. Yeah. And then you had, I think Spain took over the number 1 spot. I believe they were number 2. And that the number 1 spot was Sweden, but they dropped down like 4, so they're either like 4th or 5th now. I kind of forgot to pull that up, but I also was reading today that the MLS has decided to not participate in, I believe it's the U.S. Open Cup. And I didn't read the full article, but they're at risk of I think losing D1, so I'm not exactly sure on the levels of professional soccer in the United States, especially for the men's side. I know the MLS, I think, is the top one, and then I think you have the USL that is beneath them, I believe. So yeah, but they said they're not going to participate in it, and that their teams will not be participating in it. But in more international news, don't know if anyone saw this, but Inter Miami, and then I am not as familiar with Saudi Arabian teams. I'm sorry. But just in case anyone saw that, they are going to play each other. Which, if you're wondering why that's so important, you have Messi and Ronaldo, who are two very well respected footballers in the whole, I guess the whole football community. Obviously. And they are going to be playing against each other, but that doesn't, just because the teams are playing against each other, doesn't mean they're gonna play. Which, I mean, I would think they're gonna play against they would, but I don't know, because they said there's no bad blood between any of them. They're just two respected footballers. So yeah. But anyway, let's kind of go into looking into soccer. So I'm going to share a screen with you guys. I found an article that will help us about all you need to know about soccer. And I'm going to start by saying this here. There is always some constant fucking rule changes, so beware. This, I don't know how up to date this is, and especially, and I think also in different countries too, some of the rules, there's the IFAB, that the international level that you have to follow, that I think is for every team, but I know that some have different type of rules and stuff. It kind of depends on leagues, countries, stuff like that as well. All right, all you need to know about soccer. Soccer, or football, as it's known outside of North America, is the most popular sport in the world. So how is it played? Who plays it? And many more questions unanswered. Okay, obviously, what is soccer? It is a team sport, obviously, because there's no I in team, of 11 players against another 11 players on the field. So yeah, the team has one designated goalkeeper and 10 outfield players. Outfield players are usually specialized in attacking or defending, or both. A team is typically split into defenders, midfielders, and forwards, so there's no restriction on players being anywhere on the pitch. So, now, and I'm going to go into this here, just kind of coming from a coaching standpoint here. As yes, you want structure. I'm gonna tell you, I hate watching games where you can tell where the forwards, midfielders, and defenders are. Like, not in the sense of being able to tell, but like, you can see it. Like, you like to be able to see it, but not watch. Okay, like defenders aren't. You don't have outside backs moving up. It's like I love watching games where you're actually like your defense is getting on into the attack, right? Or you have a designated like defensive midfielder. Like I don't love watching where it's like all structured. Like obviously I like structure and I like seeing it, but not in the sense of like monotone. Like 1, 2, 3. Like no one likes that. No one likes that at all. It's like it feels for me. It feels monotone. All right, what does a soccer ball look like? A soccer ball is round and must measure between 27 to 28 inches in circumference and weigh about 14 and 16 ounces. And if many people don't know this, soccer balls come in like so many different like colors. I have one. I don't know if anyone's seen for Fun Kicks. I have one that's like shiny as fuck. It is so shiny, like you can see it. So that's the one I use. I also have like two other ones. Like I have like a one from like the 2022 World Cup. Then I have like a basic one. So not that that's important. All right. How many countries play soccer? Okay, and this is something I'm not like 100% sure on, like, because there's a lot of countries. Soccer is the world's most popular sport, played by over 250 million people in more than 200 countries. Europe, Central and South America, and Africa. So that has a growing influence in North America and Asia. I'm also going to say this here. So yes, obviously it is a growing sport in North America, and also I've also read like I didn't know this until I really started playing and kind of playing against people like in recreational soccer who were like from Africa, but it is really popular there. And I kind of knew that, but like just it helped kind of expand my understanding. So all right, what does a pitch look like? The game is played on a rectangular field called a pitch, with a goal at either end. I love how those are italicized there. The size of the pitch for international adult category matches can be between 11 to 120 yards long and 70 to 80 yards wide. The lines at either end of the pitch are called the goal lines. The lines perpendicular to the goal lines are called the touch lines. The playing surface used a grass or surface are very rarely used at professional level. Okay, so yes, obviously, and I've also learned this playing recreational soccer. Like I didn't, for some reason, like my brain always goes to like it's the same length, but I also don't look at that from like a math standpoint. I'm not like, oh my god, that's like 110 yards. That sounds like way too much work. And obviously, like there has always been a big debate, like turf fields and grass fields. Because I will say, like on turf, you will slip a lot more. Like when we train on a turf field. Obviously, like if you ever look at the videos, you can see I'm turning on a turf field. They're sliding a lot more. And that is why I bring my cleats. And the last time I will ever do indoor shoes on turf, I almost fell on my butt. But I remember like the last team I was on in the summer league. We played like we played different fields. The main one we played on was like all like bumpy and jankety. It was a decent field. You would get stuck. It would bounce on potholes. It was great. It was like they're not even potholes, just little holes in the ground. We played on a turf field one time. Although we had just come back as a team, like from having a long break because we hadn't been scheduled to play for some weeks, and oh my god, not as easy as you think that was. I know I missed one game. Like I don't know what kind of field it was, but I know that was grass. And then where I train, I know we had like a game there, like not in the same area, but like in a different area. And actually, like, that grass was, like, it was nicer, but it was, like, a lot longer. So we were definitely running a lot more. Oh my god, we were, like, running like crazy. So, yeah. Alright, what is the aim of soccer? The object of the game is to move the ball out the pitch. I love this. And beyond the goal line of your opponent's goal. A standard game last night and split into 2 halves of 45 minutes. The goal had, yeah. Okay, well, I'm guessing a lot of people know what. Any of team's 11 players on the pitch can score a goal, which adds 1 to the team's total. This team also gets a goal if the opponent sends the ball into their own goal. 1 mistake. The team that scores the most goals, yeah. The regular season games end at 90 minutes, even if the scoreline is level. The score is still over after extra time. Yeah, okay. So I want to get into extra time here because this is what my dad hates. He's like, I don't understand with soccer. He's like most games, like if they're level, they go into overtime. But with soccer, he's like, I never understood how a team could be winning 1-0 and get 5 minutes of extra time in a game, and the other team comes back to win it 2-1. And to be honest, sometimes that just also shows, like, in any sport, you shouldn't shut off. Like, you shouldn't shut off. Plain and simple. Okay. Let's see. Does soccer have postseason playoffs? Most domestic soccer leagues do not have postseason playoff round like the major sports in the United States and Canada. The team that finishes top of the table after the end of the season is usually crowned champion after what? Okay, this I did not know. Most league competitions give winning teams 3 points. So domestic leagues do playoffs to decide which teams are demoted or regulated from a league, such as the Bundesliga in Germany. Okay, so I did not exactly know that. I know within, like, in the United States, obviously, like NWSL and MLS, because I know the MLS, we'll use the MLS as well. I know they just wrapped up their season, like last month. But I didn't know that, like, in other countries, like they did, that was the top of the table was crowned. I never knew that. Because I know with the NWSL, they do, well, what they're going to be doing. Obviously, the team that ended in first gets the shield. And I know that now they're going to have, like, a challenge cup, like, between, it's obviously now it's decided, but it's San Diego Wave and Gotham playing in that next year. But I never really realized, I never really thought about it, how, like, I know that in Europe, which I think this is kind of cool, they have, like, their leagues and, like, a Champions League. So I never really realized, like, that they had, like, you know, demotions, per se. So, I mean, I think that's pretty cool. And honestly, I think something I want to look into. Obviously, it's different than here, and Europe produces some great soccer, so they're doing something right. Alright, what are the rules of soccer? The sport has 17 rules known as the laws of the game, which are laid down and are governed by the international. Yeah, the IFAB. Yeah, okay. So obviously there are modifications with that. And I'm going to tell you guys this. Some of those things they do make absolutely no sense. Just go back to the 2019 World Cup and the 2019 Gold Cup for the men. Just saying. Alright, I think, okay, so a foul, obviously. So obviously fouls happen, and now again, this is up to the referee, but they can kind of decide who was at fault. Like if it's slide tackle, like if you don't get all ball, I believe, for the most part. But like if you get like the person's foot or you like smack a person, obviously you're gonna freaking get called. Okay. I penalty. Now, with penalties, again, it's the same thing as a foul, but it's in the box. So that means the team's penalized closer to the goal. And the goalkeeper has to learn a brand new technique. Going back to that iPad thing, had to learn, has their rules and to how to stop this penalty. Doesn't, it's a mind game a lot. All right, what happens when a ball goes out of play in soccer? So if a ball goes out of play, obviously if it's on the sidelines, per se, you throw it in. If one of your teammates, like say you or your teammates, touched it near the goal and it goes out near the goal line there, out of bounds, that's a goal kick for the other team. If the opposing team cleared it, got it out of the box near the goal, like at the back lines there, that's the corner kick. Now, what you don't really see is free kicks in the box, and that happens a lot. It actually doesn't happen as often, but I've seen it where the goalkeeper, if you do a back pass to your keeper and the keeper picks it up, free kick in the box, which you don't see that a whole lot, but you will see it sometimes. Okay. So, what do players wear? Obviously, you have your jerseys. Now, the outfield players are wearing, whatever color jersey. The goalkeeper wears a different colored jersey just so they can tell who's who and who's touching the ball with their hands. Okay. What did the referees do? Okay. We're going to go into this last part here. Okay, we're going to go into the yellow cards and red cards. So with yellow cards, that just kind of gives you a caution. If you get 2 yellow cards, that's the minimum of yellow cards you as a player can get in the game. If you get 2 yellow cards, so like if you get a yellow card and your teammate gets a yellow card, that doesn't mean anything. But and I know some leagues, some leagues they have like yellow card accumulation. How many games you'll be spent for? Like if you get 2 yellow cards, you're suspended a game. Something like that. But if you personally get 2 yellow cards, you'll get a red. Sometimes you'll see a straight red card for disorderly conduct, pretty much. All right. What is VAR? So VAR is this relatively new system, and there is still, I feel like, a little bit of controversy around it because, for one, obviously you started seeing it you didn't have it in the Men's Gold Cup in 2019, but you did have it in the Women's World Cup in 2019, 2 major tournaments, and this is also the problem with IFAB here, is they made major changes right before 2 major tournaments. So it is kind of like, I say it's the referee's backup. Like if the referee makes a call, say someone got tripped up in the box and they're calling for a penalty, and maybe the referee says no, it's not a penalty. So I get this thing in their earpiece, right? They're like, oh, that is a penalty. They're check it, and the referee will check it and then make their decision. Which in this season you've been seeing it about a lot more. So yeah. But I think I'm going to end today's episode here. I don't believe we had any new voicemails, but I'm going to show you guys kind of the voicemail page setting here really quick, and then I will let y'all go. I don't know why I'm talking like at the press conference. All right. Seriously? There we go. Okay, so here is the voicemail page setting. And yes, that's the email it's under. Now, if there's any problems, but you can... full voicemail page. Yeah. So this is the page address. That's where I put the account to. But, yeah. It's on, and is also linked in our bio as well on Instagram. So go check it out. But thank you guys for listening today. I do hope you guys enjoyed today's little informative episode, and I'll see you guys next week. Peace.